my god. Hi, Tori! Hi! Oh my god! So yes! Oh, my goodness.
Hi, Tori. Hello. Welcome back to Toronto. Thank you. I love it.
You're so pretty!
So, first of all, congratulations. Your album went number one.
Yes!
Oh, you guys.
I'm like crying.
So, where were you when you heard that news, and what did that moment feel like for you?
Gosh, I think must have been eating. I'm always eating.
Me too.
But yeah, same. But man, it still doesn't really feel like it happened. I'm still kind of tripping out and trying to process everything. So and it feels amazing to be able to have an album that you worked really hard on and put up so much of yourself into it, and then just to see people connecting with it and supporting it is the best feeling in the world.
So, you've been working in the music industry since you were a kid, basically.
Yeah.
When did the dream of being a music artist start for you?
Pretty young. I mean, my parents say I've been singing since before I could talk, I guess. I was, singing melodies and just kind of humming things and creating sounds. So, I mean, for me, it was always a part of my life. And I think when I was around 6 years old, like kindergarten, when the teacher asked, what do you want to be when you grow up, I always just said a singer, no matter what. So there wasn't really ever a plan B. I knew since I was a kid that I wanted to do music somehow.
And I'll be asking you some of our Twitter questions. So we asked our fans and followers for questions for you.
Oh my god.
So the first question I have for you, turn me, is from @ZachThomas. So @ZachThomas wants to know, what's kept you going? What's the main reason you haven't given up on your music career?
The fans, for sure. I got so quiet after. I mean, honestly, when I put videos up on YouTube, a while back, I remember just seeing comments and there's so much love. I feel that people just get behind your music and you, and they want to see it happen for you. And for me, it feels like it's not just me doing it. It's like all of us are kind of on this journey together, and it's not like it's just me by myself. That'd be really lonely. But I don't know. I love what we've built up. We have this cool relationship and this cool connection where I can post anything, and it's just I get instant feedback, and it's like we can just talk like humans. So it's cool. I love it.
Cool. So let's talk about Unbreakable Smiles. That's why we're here. How would you describe the album?
I would describe it as my diary in some ways, and I'll describe it as it's every. I think sonically, it's everything that I grew up listening to and everything I love. For so long, it was hard for me to put an actual sound together for myself because I love so many different styles of music. And being in the industry as long as I have, I would get things like you got to pick one genre, you got to just find your thing and stick to it. And I've always knew deep down I don't have one thing that I love singing. I love all kinds of music. So I knew that I loved there's some hip hop inspired things on the album. There's the stripped down raw acoustic stuff that people might know me for. There's pop stuff. I grew up loving pop music, but I think at the end of the day, the common thread through the whole album is soul. I wanted that to be the main thing that people take away.
Yeah. So what is your writing process when you're, working on an album or thinking about a song? Are you the type of artist who inspiration strikes and you just write a song right then and there? Do you have a set process?
It's always different for me. I describe myself as scatterbrained when I write. And I never have a specific way of doing things. I keep ideas a lot in my phone, and I'll find a napkin or something and write stuff down just if I get bursts of inspiration. But it's very rare that I sit down and just a whole song just comes out. I kind of write in sections and pieces. So I mean, I could just have like a chorus, and then that chorus will sit for weeks, and I never finish it, and then it just kind of pieces itself together. So I think I'm a little more of like a slow writer, but then there's also songs like Unbreakable Smile happened really fast. That was like an hour, and the song was done. So I'm kind of just all over the place.
So Unbreakable Smile, I know there's a bit of a story about that, about why you wrote it so quickly. It has such a, don't give up on yourself kind of vibe. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, so Unbreakable Smile happened at a really interesting time. I had just gotten off my tour for my last EP, Forward, and I knew the next step would be to put out an album. I hoped I didn't have to put out just like these EPs all my life. I was like, I think it's time to put out an album. So I was just in this weird place where I didn't know what I was even gonna say yet, or how, what it would sound like, the album, and I had all these eyes on me from the buzz from the EPs and stuff, so people were kind of like, what's you gonna do next, And so I remember having a meeting with my team, and up until that point, I had been playing it kind of safe, I think, with just my songs, and just the way I was approaching everything was just very kind of like here I am. And so I remember in that meeting, they were starting to tell me just things that they had heard in the industry, like, we think she's too plain and she's too boring. Like, what else does she have to offer? And there's no like edge or grit. Like she's a little too nice and sweet. And I was like, thanks. But no, I mean, I was acting like it didn't affect me at all. And then I went home that night, and sure enough, just all these lyrics just started flowing out of me like it was nothing. And I remember feeling like I'd been holding all that stuff in for so long, since however long, just being kind of told no for so long and having all these doubts, and I kind of just like pressed those feelings down and didn't ever sing about them. So after I wrote Unbreakable Smile, I remember feeling like this weight was just lifted, and after that, and that was the first song I wrote for the album too, so the whole album just has this new layer of songwriting that I feel like I unlocked for myself, and I just had more confidence going into those writing sessions.
So one of the lyrics that I think really stands out from Unbreakable Smile is maybe I can sell out shows without taking off my clothes.
Yes, queen. Yes.
That was me. Oh man, that lyric stems from another interesting story. When I was about 13, maybe 12 or 13, and some people know, but I was signed when I was 12, and kind of just thrown into the whole business side of things, not knowing what was going on. I didn't even know who I was yet as a person, let alone like an artist. So I was just working with every single person you could think of, just kind of going through the motions, letting them tell me what to sound like, and because I didn't know how it went down. And I remember walking into a meeting, and with some people who were pretty high up at the record label and stuff, and they're playing like these music videos of other artists who were kind of like more revealing with their clothing choices. And I remember being so confused.
Yikes.
Like I'm only 13, and I'm walking into this kind of like, well, like why are you playing these videos? Like, do you want me to look like that, or am I supposed to? Is this what you're supposed to do to make it? Like, are you trying to tell me something? All these thoughts were going through my head, and I remember that was the moment when I remember thinking like this. Me and my family too. I'm so thankful they had my back through all of it. But it was just one of those moments where, okay, this doesn't feel right. Like, we need to take a step back and really see what's going on here and not just rush into things, because it just didn't feel right. So I think with that, where that line comes from is kind of looking back on that moment and realizing how far I've made it without compromising myself or my beliefs or what I wear. I could still do sold out shows without changing anything about myself. So I think that's where that line comes from.
So you collaborated with Ed Sheeran on
Yes.
And you opened for him at Madison Square Garden.
Fire. Fire.
So So just
did, yeah.
quick question. What was it like stepping on a stage at Madison Square Garden?
It went by so fast.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be really nervous. And I was before. I'm nervous before all my shows, but it's like a good kind of nervous, like just like the little butterflies that get you excited, you know?
All of
So-
us right now.
Oh, you guys have butterflies? Yeah, I mean, I was definitely nervous just because it felt like such a surreal thing, like Madison Square Garden, and I hadn't had an album out, I wasn't doing, like, I wasn't even at that level or anything, so I was really honored that he had me open for him, and it was crazy because I remember just seeing like a sea of lights, and I wasn't as nervous when I saw that because it almost seemed fake. Until at all my shows I get a video of the crowd and they turn the lights on and I was like, okay, you turn it back on. So that was cool. I guess me and Ed were the first people to do sold out Madison Square Garden just acoustically. So yeah.
Queen.
So the track on the album, I Was Made for Loving You, it's such a, with Ed, it's such a romantic song. How did that process work? You know, did you guys do like text messages? Were you in the studio together all the time?
That was the first time we met when we wrote that song. So I remember he came straight from doing some show and just like came over to the studio. And I had been a fan of his for a while, so I was kind of like, whoa, you're Ed Sheeran, that's great. And but he was super easy to write with. Like he had a lot of ideas already, and he came up with the guitar part first, and then we just started writing over the top of that. And for a while it was like, okay, this is cool, like this is a cool song. It was a little bit out of my comfort zone, a little more like on the folk side, which was awesome. I love that. But there was a moment in the session where it just all clicked, I think, because up until that point it was like, okay, this, chill song, what is? But once it was like a random thing where he started like pacing around the room, and then he was like, wait, I got it, and I was like, what? And then we just switched around all these parts, and that's when we knew we had a really special song.
Awesome.
And we got to produce it together too, which was pretty cool.
So Flair is a fashion magazine, so let's talk about style.
Okay.
What do you like to wear? How would you describe your style?
Like looking.
You look pretty fly right now. So.
I'm pretty simple. I like very understated types of things. I don't know what I'm saying. I mean jeans and a t-shirt with jewelry. Like I try to stay away from heels as much as I can. I like to be comfortable.
So when you're performing, do you switch it up and make it a little extra?
Yeah, for sure. On stage, I think there's kind of a button that gets pressed. It's like, okay, you're going to be on stage now, so maybe like, bump it up a little bit and not go out there in your pajamas, which is maybe I'll do that one day because I have goals. But yeah, I definitely I'll rock heels, or I still have to be comfortable though. I hate being uncomfortable in my clothes. That's like the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So but yeah, I'm still like experimenting with things on stage. It's fun to switch it up.
Cool. As one curly haired girl.
You have
to
great
another.
hair. Yes, both of you.
Of course, I need to know what's in your hair.
Secrets.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's
those are
why
very
it's so
high.
big.
Secrets. Yeah, exactly. She said that's why it's so big. I put a lot of random products in. One of my favorites is called Weedad.
Weedad.
Yeah, I bet you know all this. Weedad is good, and Oribe is good as well. And I think the trick though is like when it's wet, I don't towel dry it. I do like a t-shirt. You know the t-shirt
Yeah,
trick?
it has like a name, doesn't it? I can't remember. It has a weird little
I call it the
trick.
t-shirt trick.
Yeah.
And all this is on my Pinterest too, by the way.
Hey.
Sure.
But I diffuse it. I flip it over and diffuse it, and that's kind of how it gets big.
Yes.
I guess.
Have you ever felt pressure to have straight hair?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I didn't start wearing my hair curly until about 6th grade, because before that I actually had straight hair. If you see like pictures of me, and it was really straight, and it started to get this weird like half wave thing going on, and so I just slicked it back, or I straightened it every day, because that's what all the other girls were doing. So I was like, I'm not gonna wear my hair curly, I was really nervous. So 6th grade picture day, I woke up late and didn't have time to do my usual hair routine. And so my mom, who has curly hair as well, she was like, oh, okay, we'll just put all this in it, we'll diffuse it. Like, she kind of helped me. And I got all these compliments when I went to school. And it was just cool to see that I could just rock like what God naturally gave me instead of like forcing something else. And like I got a lot more confidence after that. So since then, I just rocked it curly.
So I'm just going to wrap up with a couple of Twitter questions from your fans. Let's see. Here's a good one. This is from Love Michaela, and she says, "What's the most emotional?" Are you here?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. So your question, as you know, was, "What's the most emotional song to perform for you?"
Most emotional song. That's tough. I feel like I'm very emo.
Me too.
Like all of them.
Me.
I guess because there's happier songs in the album too. I think "Funny" gets me pretty emotional.
I got you. Retweet.
What's the song that gets you most emotional?
City Dog.
City Dogs.
It gets me emotional actually. Yeah. It changes. I think at shows it just kind of depends on the moment.
My heart.
And this is from Fatima, whose handle is Fats. She wants to know, here, if you could relive a memory, what would it be? Mine is listening to your music for the first time.
Aww.
That's the sweetest thing ever. Oh my gosh. If I could relive a memory, I would go probably way back to when I was just like a little girl running around with her Elmo doll.
I
love Elmo.
Yeah.
Elmo was
Yes.
It would be cool to actually realize to watch, I think, the little version of yourself. Do you think that would be cool?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know anything yet. You have so much time.
You're gonna love your curly hair.
Yeah.
Do we have time for one more? One more. Okay. Oh, this is a good
I'm
one.
gonna hang out longer.
Yeah, just stay.
Please.
Fight the power. It's all you.
Just cancel that show.
Just cancel the entire show.
It's a beautiful day in Toronto.
It is a beautiful day.
So this is from @Chris Edsons. And this question is, are there any artists you would love to collab with in the future? Which reminds me of that Timbaland Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Really into it.
Timbaland would be amazing to work with. Maybe like next album or something. It'd be really cool.
Justin Bieber.
Justin.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say Justin Timberlake would be cool. Yeah. Both Justins.
Just do it. One track. Both of them.
On one track.
On one track. Both of them on one track.
That's an idea. I'd be down. I to throw it back a little bit, I always thought it'd be cool to collab with Lenny Kravitz. I just keep putting it out there. Maybe he'll hear me or something. If you're free, I don't know. Collab. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tori.
Thank you.
Thanks to you guys.
You slayed at the BET Awards.
And watch this interview on Claire.com in a couple of weeks. So just keep checking our Twitter @ClareFashion. And thanks again to Tori Kelly.
Thank you. We're periscoping.
Get your booklet out. Oh my god. My heart's on fire. I talked to her like the entire time. I just stole that thing, man.